Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Savance. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show, but before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram. My handle is CTABANZ. Follow the channel on Instagram, same name as the channel, DREAMERSPRO, and check out our podcast we have pinned below. Let me get into this topic here. Now, you guys know who Vlad is, one of the biggest news outlets, let me say entertainment, hip-hop news outlets out there. He gets a boatload of views every month. I think his channel gets around 50 million views every single month. Of course, he has his website as well. So Vlad is a very, 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 very big news outlet, right? But with all of that exposure and how big he is, there have been some knocks on Vlad over the years, and some of it I agree with, which is Vlad is a culture vulture. What do people mean by this? Essentially, well, what do vultures do? Vultures, they poach off of other people's hard work, right? So people are saying Vlad came from another culture. He came into the hip hop culture, and then he's monetizing the culture in negative ways by producing content that's not positive, by instigating certain things between certain people. And a lot of people don't like Vlad for that. I was really offended by his comments about Taraji Henson, how he was talking so flippantly about it, you know, saying things that I 100% disagreed with. And too often, Vlad is always putting his toes into things that have nothing to do with him. And he always tries to boil it down to some type of simplistic argument when really these are complex issues, right? Sometimes I get annoyed listening to him talk about some of the greatest, talk about some of the greatest musicians of all time, black musicians, and just like, oh, you think he's good? You think he's got? I'm like, bro, like, it's annoying sometimes listening to Vlad. So what happened? Recently, we produced that show on his comments about Taraji Henson. A lot of people roasted him for it. Michael Jai White came on the show. He disagreed with him to his face. TK Kirtling came to his show and basically told him, listen, a lot of what she's saying is truth to it. Do you know why? Because I'm a person of color and I've been through certain things within the industry, and I know a lot of people. I've been in the entertainment business for quite some time, and I know what the hell goes on, right? So I would have a better grasp, and she would have a better grasp. You would have no grasp whatsoever. So he was able to push back on that, and then Vlad put out some flippant comments talking about no one wants to hear a millionaire that has a house worth $6 million complaining, and then he had to retract his comments because he knew that that was absolutely wrong-headed for him to go out there and make such statements, because it had nothing to do with the argument. If she has a $25 million house, if she earned it, she earned it. What does that have to do with the crux of the argument that she was putting forward? And he realized that was a ridiculous point, and he retracted it. So what happened? This morning I was doing some research and I came across some information surrounding his recent interview with Smush Parker. If you don't know, Smush Parker was a former teammate with Kobe Bryant. They didn't get along. So during one of their segments, they were talking, you know, about the relationship or lack thereof between himself and Kobe. And then we got to a certain point in the interview where Vlad said at one point Kobe Bryant had to block him, or blocked him, not had to block him, blocked him on Twitter for some of his practices that he wasn't a fan of. So that's what we want to focus on today. But before we even get into what Vlad said, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is really simple. Instead of just selecting a team, you just select two or more players, pick more or less their projected stats, and then you place your entry. For example, this week, I'm selecting two entries: Stephen Curry for more than 25 points, and then I got Anthony Davis for more than 2 blocks, and Damian Lillard for more than 4 3-pointers made. Prize Picks is also the only daily sports platform with an injury insurance policy. So for example, if you have a player who gets injured in the first half and doesn't return to the second half, that player gets automatically rebooted. What I also love about Prize Picks is that it offers weekly promotions like Taco Tuesdays. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. And once again, once you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do is want to play exactly what Vlad said. It's only about a minute or so, and then we're going to come back and get into the meat and potatoes of this video. Take a listen to what Vlad had to say here.
My one and only exchange with Kobe was before he passed. We had done an article, because I have a news site as well, Vladtv.com, and we'd done an article about how he was coaching his daughter's, little girl team.
Yeah.
And he posted this, it was an Instagram post about how they lost and how they weren't playing very well. And they're all like depressed looking and everything. And we did a post about that. And he like responded back to me. He was like, no, that's not what I meant. And then he blocked me.
Oh, wow.
So I am currently blocked by Kobe Bryant right now.
Man.
But if I go from my Twitter page to his, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But he was bashing little girls, like, I mean, his will to win.
Yeah, I was about to say
serious.
his desire to win, the fight in him was second to none.
Yeah,
and that was his. That was what was great about Kobe Bryant.
So you heard what Vlad had to say. What are my thoughts on what he had to say? Listen, you heard the story that he was trying to create some drama because Kobe Bryant was hard on the girls' team that he used to coach. As you guys know, Kobe coached young girls to play basketball, including his late daughter, Gigi. And what Vlad tried to do in that moment was capitalize on a story to get some clicks and views out of it. This is what he normally does. There's this habit that he has when there's a trending story and there's some damn drama surrounding. He will now put up a flashback clip to ride the wave of that story, even though that particular clip had nothing to do with the actual story. He's always trying to, I guess that's how he butters his bread, so to speak. But what I think happened was Kobe just saw straight through him. I think Kobe saw straight through him. He saw what he was trying to do. And he was like, I don't need to be in communication with this person any longer. Period. He just said, I'm done. I don't need to communicate with this guy because I know what he's trying to do. Now, why would Kobe do that? Because Kobe understood his intent. Kobe wasn't trying to promote second place prizes and do all of those stuff. He was expecting more out of his team. Now, some people said his approach is a bit harsh or whatever it is, but Vlad saw it as an opportunity to cover Kobe and get some damn clicks and views off of him on his website, which he did. And then Kobe had to text him and say, listen, I don't appreciate the way you're doing things based on what he said in this audio. And then he decided to block him. Do you know what it takes to block somebody? Especially given this context. Do you know what it takes? It's one thing if you disagree with the person, you go back and forth and you leave it alone. But to block a person and for Kobe Bryant to block you, think about that. Kobe Bryant to block you. Kobe Bryant, who seems to be a pretty tolerant person to things that are annoying in terms of like everybody can be themselves and be who they are. I'm just not going to be associated with you. But to go to the extent to block you, it means you really rubbed him the wrong way. And number two, he saw exactly what you were doing, which is stirring up some damn drama for some damn clicks and some damn views. Right. And this is something that a lot of people have taken issue with Vlad, which is you bring guests on. What Vlad does, he's a typical instigator. We all went to school with people like this. Right. He'll sit down in a chair. He'll be talking to one person. He'll say, oh, what do you think about so-and-so person? Right. And it's usually a rapper, most likely. What do you think about so-and-so person? The person will say, oh, I don't know. I think this and this and this and this and this and this and this, right? The person is answering the question. Then what happens? The person that this guy was just talking about, he'll bring him on the show. And he'll say, hey, you know what? Let me play what some of this person said about you. And then this person, if he doesn't like what that person said, he will then now react. It will stir up drama. And then all of a sudden you got a lot of clicks and views and you just sit back cashing checks and act like you don't know what's going on. Look at the Boozy situation with him and T.I. Him and T.I. was supposed to have an album. That album fell apart based on comments that Boozy said on Vladtv. Because he asked him something, Boozy had a knee-jerk reaction. Some people may say Boozy should have had a more tempered reaction. Nevertheless, he did. And then that entire project went up in flames. Who benefited from that entire situation? Vlad. Because he got the brunt of the views. Now some will say, oh, he paid Boozy. Yeah, he paid him for that job, but you get the revenue off of that interview plus the subs that can give you more views in the future. Vlad won. And this is Vlad's MO, and I think Kobe saw straight through that and he said, listen, I don't want to be connected to this nonsense. You know, I don't want to be connected to this nonsense, but people do what they do for various reasons. They have the reasons that they do it. To me, I just thought it was pretty telling that Kobe said, nah, I'm good. No need to be annexed to this particular brand of sports or of news coverage. So good for him. What I want to know from you guys, what do you think about this story? What do you think about Kobe deciding to block Vlad? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.